Hi, my name is Scott Higgins. So I'm president of a company called HIP Developments. HIP Developments is a 7-year-old real estate development firm that of late is focused on building more than just real estate. We're trying to do some things in the community that go beyond just standard bricks and mortar. We view it as a second-generation construction business, first-generation development business, but this is where our families are from. So for us, it's kind of a privilege to be able to do this stuff. I almost feel a little obligation. I know that sounds corny, but you know, you're in maybe one of 10 or 15 big developers in this area, and I think we have a duty to build the city the right way. It's not just about housing or office space, but it's about adding to the fabric of the city and the community, and it's kind of fun because you get to do that in your hometown. Well, HIP Developments is I mean, the joke I make with my wife is it's Higgins Investment Properties, but it's not. When Malua Blamey Construction was founded, their mantra is honesty, integrity, and pride of workmanship. So the acronym of their mantra is HIP, so we named it HIP Developments. But HIP Developments is an urban mixed-use developer that is doing residential projects and mixed-use projects within Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge, Guelph, Barrie, those markets. You know, I think it's always been the private sector that has led the growth of the city. I think it's really only in the last maybe 15 years that we focused on a government's obligation. They do have an obligation to lead and invest, but the private sector, when you look back at these small towns that grew into cities, that catalyst of change and creativity was driven by the private sector. And that, you know, the passion for me was I started to feel a little bit of a void, to be honest, of private sector involvement in city building. We were economically building things and employing people and doing that, but we weren't thinking about whether the city needed a new theater or whether the city needed a cultural space in its urban core, because we just thought the government needs to do that. And you know, but the governments are under budget constraints, so we have to try. And what better position than developers who are physically building that space to start to think, how much more involved is it to take a moment and think about what that space could be that's a little more unconventional? And that's really been the last 7-year focus of HIP. I think you hear about it a little more because our boldness has grown in the last 3 or 4 years on the types of projects we're going after. But you see the response, like we're getting great community partnerships, we're getting great city partnerships, great private partnerships, cool collaborations with other developers. Like, you have to try, but what's really interesting when you go try first, you get a little crazy. Other people are like, hey, that's not that crazy, and then they come help you. And so it's grown, not just with our own effort, but with those that have kind of join the movement almost, right? Like, hey, I want to help with that. Hey, here's an idea we have. Did you ever think about this? So a lot of the things we're doing now are actually other people's ideas that are bringing to us and saying, you're approachable, you want to do this. Have you ever thought about this? No, I never thought about that. That'd be cool, right? So it's been a neat ride and even just getting to know people in the community that are doing great things. Like, developments get big profile. There's so much awesome stuff happening that just, they don't get that profile because they're not an $80 million development in downtown. But meeting those people through trying to reach out and doing more with the real estate projects we're doing, you just see, like, we have some really awesome people and things happening in this community. And so if we can collaborate with them and shine a little bit of light on what they're doing as part of, say, a development project, like, it's super rewarding to do that kind of stuff. I think when you're in the trenches, you don't think you're taking a leadership position. Like, I don't know, of late, people are saying, oh, aren't you taking that position? You know, we're just trying to do good things with good people. And I still feel like this isn't a top-down leadership type of philosophy. You know, I'm fortunate to have some great partners that are willing to take risk. I'm fortunate to have, you know, a good team that can execute. But I still view it as, I don't know, by default, is it leadership? Probably, but I think it's just doing. It's getting out there and doing, and then people are saying, well, that's leading. Well, it is, but by your actions, not by just your words, right? What's driving me to do it is I'm from here. This place matters to me, and I got 2 kids, and it's gonna matter to them. So if you give me an opportunity to do it, you know, then I'm gonna try to go do it, because the success of this region has led me to where I am, and I hope it leads my kids to where they want to go, right? Like, we should be able to think that we can change the world from home. And so let's get to work on making sure that we're doing the right things so that we're instilling that kind of confidence in people from here.